afternoon, students. Already you have started the second chapter of chemistry, that is acid, bases and salt, and already you got some ideas, characteristics physically and chemically of acid, bases and salt. So we are coming to the last portion of this chapter, that is here we are discussing about the some common chemicals as the preparation, like and the chemical name of the compounds and also the chemical formula. Okay, so today we will discuss about that. So first chemical substance is sodium hydroxide. The chemical formula of sodium hydroxide is NaOH. As the chemical formula of sodium hydroxide is NaOH, as it contains OH minus ions in its solution, when sodium hydroxide is present in solid state, I am not saying that it contains OH minus ions. When it is dissolved in the water, that time the aqueous solution of NaOH will be produced and OH minus ions will be releasing from the sodium hydroxide aqueous solution. Okay, so now we are coming to the preparation of the sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is prepared by using the brine solution. Brine solution means the aqueous solution of sodium chloride. This is called the brine solution. Okay, so see the preparation: 2 NaCl plus 2 H2O. This is the chemical reaction is going on. Then sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas will be produced. Now we have to pass the electricity throughout the reaction, otherwise this reaction will not produce chlorine gas and H2 gas. This is actually the cell reaction. Okay, in the anode chlorine gas will be produced and in the cathode hydrogen gas will be produced. You know anode and cathode, I think. In the anode, that means in the negative electrode, chlorine gas will be produced and in the cathode hydrogen gas will be produced. Okay, this is the chemical reaction of preparation of oxide. So we can say that when electricity is passed through the brine solution, then sodium hydroxide will be produced as well as chlorine gas will be released at anode and hydrogen gas will be released at cathode. Okay, now these three, all the three products we can use in many purpose. Sodium hydroxide is used for making soaps, detergent, artificial. Only the sodium hydroxide we can use for that. But there are some uses for chlorine gas as well as hydrogen gas also. Chlorine gas we can use for making polyvinyl chloride. This is a type of polymer. We can use it as polyvinyl chloride. So here we can use the chlorine gas. Okay, and also for the water treatment, chlorine gas we can use. So sodium hydroxide is used for making soaps, detergent, etc., artificial fiber also, and chlorine gas, which is it is also be used in various purposes, just like to make polyvinyl chloride as polymer for the water treatment. And hydrogen gas is produced by this reaction. This hydrogen gas we can use in fuels. In fuels, hydrogen gas, and also we can use for the production of the ammonia. What is ammonia? The chemical formula of ammonia is Na. This is called the ammonia. Okay, so in ammonia reaction is going on by hydrogen gas is reacting with hydrogen gas. Okay, so this hydrogen gas we can use for the production of ammonia, and ammonia is for fertilizers. Okay, so two various uses of hydrogen gas we can see, that is it is used in fuels and also the production of ammonia, which is used for the fertilizers. So various of are there for sodium hydroxide as well as chlorine gas and hydrogen gas. Understood? So the preparation and uses of sodium hydroxide, you can note down this one, this reaction you can note down. This is very important reaction, and always you will remember that chlorine gas will be produced at anode when electricity is passed throughout this solution. And okay, so we have got sodium hydroxide and preparation and uses, we have got it. Now next I am coming to, that is the bleaching powder. Okay, so bleaching powder, I am going to tell about the bleaching powder. Bleaching powder, I think all of you know, all of you have seen that bleaching powder, and also you know the smell of the bleaching powder. Pungent smell generally comes from bleaching powder. So for the bleaching powder also, preparation and uses we have to know. Okay, so you have already came to know that chlorine is produced during the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride. Already you know that this chlorine gas is used for the manufacture of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. The bleaching powder is represented as CaOCl2, though the actual composition is quite complex. Okay, that means the formula, the chemical formula of bleaching powder CaOCl2, but actually it is not a compound, it is a complex. Like that, actually the bleaching powder formula is CaOCl group Cl. This is actual formula of bleaching powder. And from where we can get the bleaching powder? The chlorine gas is produced for the during the production of sodium hydroxide when electricity is passed through the brine solution. That time chlorine gas was produced. This chlorine gas we can use for the production of bleaching powder. This is called the slaked lime. The common name of this compound is called slaked lime. Okay, this is calcium hydroxide. The chemical name of this compound is calcium hydroxide, and when it reacts with chlorine gas, then CaOCl2, that means bleaching powder, is produced, and H2O also is produced from here. So that when the chlorine gas is passing through the slaked lime solution, then bleaching powder will come from here, and the formula of bleaching powder CaOCl2, actual formula is that CaOCl group Cl. Understood? And this is the chemical reaction which is going on for the preparation of the bleaching powder. Now we are coming to the uses of bleaching powder. Okay, there are various types of uses of bleaching powder. In many places we can use the bleaching powder. Already you know about the bleaching powder, where we can generally we use in our washroom for disinfectants. For that generally we use the bleaching powder. So now we are going to study the uses of the bleaching powder. The first one, for bleaching cotton and linen in textile industry. For bleaching cotton and linen, cotton and linen cloths in textile industry it is produced. They are also for the bleaching of that type of substance we can use in the textile industry bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is very much used in the textile industry. This is the first use of the bleaching powder. Okay. For bleaching the washed cloths in laundry also sometimes we give some clothes, our clothes to laundry for washing, so for there also bleaching powder we can use. Okay, many uses are there for disinfecting drinking water to make it free from germs. Sometimes we use the bleaching powder or chlorine, zeolite type of substance we can use for the disinfecting of the drinking water to make it free from germs. So there also bleaching powder we can use, and also it can used as an oxidizing agent in chemical industry. There are very much uses in the chemical industry as oxidizing agent, bleaching powder. Okay, so how many uses we have seen here? Firstly, bleaching powder is used in textile industry for bleaching the cotton and linen cloths in textile industry, and also it is used for the washed clothes in the laundry. In the laundry, for washing the clothes we can use for bleaching the bleaching powder, and of course for the disinfecting drinking water to make it free from germs we can use the bleaching powder, as well as it is also acting as an oxidant agent or oxidizing agent as an oxidant in many chemical industries. So these are the total properties and uses and preparation of the bleaching powder. Generally the question will come like that, you just write the name of the formula of bleaching powder, write 2 uses of bleaching powder, and sometimes this type of question may come, give the chemical reaction for the preparation of bleaching powder. Okay, understood? So these type of questions may come. So you have to know how to prepare the bleaching powder, that is this chemical reaction. It is very important. And from here also you know one more thing, that is slake lime. Slake lime is what? That is calcium hydroxide. So when chlorine gas is passed through the calcium hydroxide, we will get the bleaching powder as the product. And the bleaching powder is actually it is a complex, it is not a compound, but we write it just like CaOCl2, that, but actual formula, actual structure or actual formula, it is just like a complex CaOCl group Cl. Okay, now there are many uses of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder we can use generally, I already told, in our washroom for to make free from germs. Sometimes we use in for the washing of our clothes in laundry. Sometimes we use it as an oxidizing, and it is a very good oxidizing agent. We can use sometimes in the textile industry also bleaching powder can be used to bleach the cotton and linen. So these are the uses of the bleaching powder. So what we have got from sodium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide is used for the soaps, detergent and artificial fiber. And how will you prepare the sodium hydroxide? Sodium hydroxide will be prepared by the electrolysis. That means when the electricity is passed through the brine solution, then sodium hydroxide is produced, and chlorine gas will be produced as in the anode, and hydrogen gas is produced at cathode. Okay, and these three also some uses they have. Hydrogen gas can be used in fuels for production of ammonia, which is used for the fertilizers. Chlorine gas is also used for polyvinyl chloride production, that is the polymer, and for the water treatment also we can use the chlorine gas. And sodium hydroxide is used for making soap, generally detergent, artificial fiber, and many also uses of sodium hydroxide. Paper making, for paper making also we can use sodium hydroxide. For degreasing metals also we can use the sodium hydroxide. And chlorine gas we generally use for the water treatment. Generally we use the chlorine gas in swimming pool It is also used as disinfectant. Okay, pesticides, some pesticides we can use the sodium, the chlorine gas. In for hydrogen gas, it is the product, it can produce ammonia, which is used for the fertilizers, and also fuels we can use the hydrogen gas. So they are the uses of sodium hydroxide. And also the bleaching powder, we have already known about the bleaching powder, how to prepare, what are the uses, and also what is the chemical formula of bleaching powder. Okay, understood. Now we are coming to the next. Baking soda. The name of baking soda already, I think you know. Okay, so baking soda, the chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate, or you can say sodium bicarbonate. So the formula of sodium hydrogen carbonate is NaHCO3. This is the formula of sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. This is called the baking soda. Baking soda is the common name, and sodium hydrogen carbonate, it is the chemical name of the baking soda. Now the preparation we are coming to. Sodium chloride, H2O plus CO2 plus NH3, then we will get ammonium chloride and baking soda. So for the preparation we have to use sodium chloride, aqueous solution of sodium chloride, carbon dioxide and ammonia we have to use for the making baking soda. Generally baking soda is used in the kitchen for making tasty crispy pakoras in baking soda. Sometimes it is added for faster cooking. So the chemical name you have to know, that is it is a compound, and the chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate, and the formula of the baking soda is NaHCO3. It is produced using sodium chloride as one of the raw materials. Understood? So this is the chemical reaction by which baking soda can be prepared. So now we are coming to the uses of baking soda. For making baking powder, we can use the baking soda. Baking soda and baking powder is not same. Baking soda we use for our kitchen purpose. As what? When we make some pakoras, to make the pakoras some crispy, we can use the baking soda. Generally, we use it as in the kitchen, and also it is used for the baking powder. There is a very small difference between the baking soda and baking powder. Baking powder is the mixture of baking soda and mild acid. Mild acid means very weak acid. Generally organic acids are very weak acid, already you know in this chapter. The strong acid are generally the inorganic acids are strong acid, like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, all they are strong acids as they are inorganic acids. But tartaric acid, lactic acid, citric acid, we can take this acid. For why we can take this acid? Because they are very weak acid. Weak acid we can take, and generally they are organic acids. Citric acid is present in lemon. Tartaric acid is also we can use as an organic acid, we can take it. And also lactic acid we can use in curd. In curd lactic acid is present there. So just like that, tartaric acid is also an organic acid, and which we can take. Okay, that means it is a very mild acid, and baking powder is just the mixture of baking soda, that means sodium hydrogen carbonate, with mild acid, tartaric acid. When we are mixing tartaric acid with baking soda, that means sodium hydrogen carbonate, that time we are getting baking powder from here. Understood? When baking powder is heated or mixed with water, it will produce sodium salt of acid. When baking soda or baking powder, if it is reacting with water, it will produce sodium salt of acid and carbon dioxide from here. So this is the preparation, this is the way of preparation, how to prepare the sodium hydrogen carbonate. And you can say that NH4Cl, that means ammonium chloride, is coming from this equation. So how we can separate it? Already you know ammonium chloride is very much having sublime in nature. It can go as sublimation. So if you give some amount of heat to this mixture, ammonium chloride will be vaporized and sodium hydrogen carbonate will not be vaporized because it has no sublimation property. But ammonium chloride having sublimation property like naphthalene, like camphor. So if you use the sublimation technique, we can collect the ammonium chloride, okay, by the separation technique, and also sodium hydrogen carbonate will remain there after the evaporation of ammonium chloride. Understood? Now from there we can collect sodium hydrogen carbonate. Ammonium chloride will be evaporized because it has sublimation nature. So by giving some amount of heat, it will go to the vapor state, from solid state to vapor state. Then we can separate them. Okay, so this is the way to prepare sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda. So one uses we have got for making baking powder. We can use sodium bicarbonate with the mixture of tartaric acid. Now we are coming the next uses of baking soda, that is baking soda is also used as an ingredient in antacid. When antacid are produced, antacid means anti-acid. In case of medicine industry, antacid will be produced, and for the production of the antacid, sodium hydrogen carbonate is acting as an ingredient, okay, for the making antacid. Why? Because sodium hydrogen carbonate is alkaline in nature. This is actually the basic type of salt, because if we go through that mixture of the sodium hydrogen carbonate with water, then sodium hydroxide and H2CO3 gas, H2CO3 will be produced. Sodium hydroxide, if you mix water with sodium hydroxide, then sodium hydrogen carbonate solution will be formed. But sodium hydrogen carbonate, from where it is coming? It is coming from the sodium hydroxide. This is the salt, so it is a mixture of acid and base. So which acid and base are used for the preparation of sodium hydrogen carbonate? Sodium hydroxide and H2CO3. As sodium hydroxide is strong in nature, but H2CO3 is weak in nature. That is why sodium hydrogen carbonate is alkaline in nature. That means basic in nature. So antacid meaning which can neutralize the acid. So that means we have to use some base, but we cannot use directly the strong base, because strong base are not we can use in the proper way for human being. It will be harmful sometimes. So strong acid, strong base we cannot use directly, we cannot take directly. So for the neutralization purpose, we can use the alkaline solution. Alkaline is sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is having the alkaline properties. So for making the antacid, sodium hydrogen carbonate we can use, and it can neutralize the excess acid in stomach and provides relief. When excess acid is present, then we can feel the acidity. Okay, so for removing this acidity, for removing the excess acid, we have to use some alkaline that can neutralize this excess acid. This is what? This is antacid, and antacid is produced from what? That is, in case of antacid, not only sodium hydrogen carbonate is used in antacid. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is one of the reagent for making the antacid. Another substance will be used for the antacid, but it is one of the substance which is used for the making of antacid and which can neutralize the excess acid in our stomach and provides the relief from acidity. Understood? Next, sodium hydrogen carbonate also used in fire as fire extinguisher. Sodium hydrogen carbonate also used as fire extinguisher. So 4 uses we have got from baking soda. Okay, so once more I am repeating this once. Baking soda, the chemical name of the baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate, or you can say sodium bicarbonate. Okay, now we are coming to the preparation of the baking soda, that is when sodium chloride reacts with water in presence of carbon dioxide and ammonia, then ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate will be produced, and sodium hydrogen carbonate will be separated from ammonium chloride by sublimation process, because NH4Cl can sublimate. It has sublimation property. Now we are coming to the uses for making baking powder. We can use the baking soda. Baking soda generally we use in kitchen for our cooking purpose. For making crispy pakoras type of thing, we can use the baking soda. So this baking soda also used for making baking powder. And baking powder is what? Baking powder is just the mixture of baking soda with a very mild acid, that is tartaric acid, such as tartaric acid. Okay, tartaric acid is an organic acid, that is why it is a very mild acid, very weak acid. That is why we can take as our food. Now sodium hydrogen carbonate is also acting as a reagent in antacid. In antacid, many substances it is used, but sodium hydrogen carbonate is one of the substance, one of the reagent which is used for making antacid. For what reason? Because sodium hydrogen carbonate is alkaline in nature, so it can easily neutralize the excess acid in our stomach and it can provide the relief from acidity. Understanding? Now we are coming to the last uses of baking soda. Generally these uses instead of these we can use baking soda in many purposes, but these are the common uses we can use the baking soda. Okay, so it is also used in case of fire extinguishers. Okay, so for today it is okay. Now some portion is left, that is washing soda, and one more thing, plaster of Paris. After that we will read about the preparation and uses and the chemical formula of washing soda, and also one more is left in your syllabus, that is plaster of Paris. Okay, thank you students.